This summer, Lytton, B.C. was all over the news. People having to be evacuated out of their homes. And then nothing, like nothing. Are they back in their homes? Are there even homes to go back into? Well, hopefully today we'll get a little update. Welcome to Small Talk.
Any and all are welcome here to come and chat with me.
Hi, everyone. Well, welcome to the show. Today, my guest lives in Lytton, and his name is Byron Spinks. Byron, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you, Nancy. I'm glad to be here with you today.
You don't mind me calling you Byron?
Yes, Byron's great. My traditional name is Nihank, but that's very few people use that. But I normally introduce myself as Nihank, and that means good-natured person.
Oh, very good. Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
So now, are you actually in Lytton right now?
No, I live in North Bend right now. I'm originally from Lytton, and I've been here in North Bend since June 30th or July 1st. I managed to get a rental place in North Bend because I worked in North Bend part-time at the time of the fire. So
what you didn't see at the beginning, I did a little intro, and I was talking about how, in the summer, Lytton was all over the news, and now we hear nothing. So
yes.
Do you know what's happening? You have any updates?
I have a few updates I can share with you. It's been a very trying times for all of our families that have been displaced due to fires and flooding. Lytton has a very small community, and but it's a very close-knit community between the Indigenous and Village of Lytton residents. So it's and we're all struggling the same. We've experienced a lot of generosity from a lot of people from all over the Canada and the province of BC, and I was just amazed at the amount of support that we've received for individual families to survive, because virtually many of them just walked out of the house with what they had on their backs and their personal belongings of their identification and medication. But it's been a slow process. It's one of the values that we have as Indigenous people and Skeptic people is patience, and it's been tested to the extreme because of the bureaucracy that has to be set up in order to try and rebuild Lytton. It never will be the same. I don't believe it will be the same, but we all believe that it will be a better place for all of us when we come back home. And there's movement is very slow. I was hoping to move back to Lytton in March, but it doesn't look like we'll be moving back to interim housing until May or June now, because of the flooding. The roads has all impacted the ability of our organizers to, move prepare the sites that are required for interim housing. It's going to be a long 3 years, I believe, after we get into the interim housing, because that's just temporary home for us to live in until we have our permanent home rebuilt again on the same locations that we had our house before.
Right. What is the population of Lytton?
The village itself is under 300, and the surrounding community, Lytton First Nation, I think, is the largest community in the area, and we have over 800 people living on reserve, and out of those 800, I think in terms of housing, loss of homes, I think we had 39 homes that were lost on 3 different reserves. One reserve was totally surprised me because it's up on the hillside, and we never thought the fire would extend to that point because it's across the river, about 3 or 4 kilometers away, and just the fire just swept right through that area just in a matter of minutes also.
Right. Well, I understand some of the process being slow because, like, I live in a condo, and a couple of years ago there was a flood from the second floor down to the first floor, and just that type of thing took. I think the people were out of their homes for 4 months. So I can't imagine what it would be like for a whole town, a whole surrounding community, you know, with the, like, as you said, with the flood. So you're not only losing your homes with fire, but you're, as you said, roads are gone, right? Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's just amazing, you know, at the time of the fire, when it was happening, we're such in a rush to get out into a safe location. You know, many things happen, and you don't realize until after the fact, when you're in a safe spot, when you sit down and envision what has actually happened to you. And I never in my life thought I'd experienced that, you know, being so close to immediate danger and life-threatening situations. And it was just total chaos for a few minutes, but fortunately, things worked out. You know, and my small subdivision, IR17, we had 5 homes lost, and ours was my partner and I's home was the first ones to go up in flames. And
is that right? Wow. Wow.
but you know, the rush that you get in trying to flee to safety is just amazing. It's just your adrenaline's flowing, and you know, you have a lot of thoughts going through your mind, and it's just and you see the flames 100 feet high, you know, going above you when you're driving down to the highways. You know, it's just really amazing what the force of the fire has at its, you know, disposal. I mean, the wind created the force, and the heat was there, and the fuel was there, and just a matter of seconds and minutes, and everything was up in flames.
Yeah, wow. I mean, Lytton is like, I've been there because I had a niece who used to live there, and my husband, when he was alive, he was in a fire protection business, so we'd go up there to do the extinguisher, whatever place, I don't know, and it was like as I said, it's a very small town, right? But very close knit.
Yes, it is.
So it must be hard right now with everybody scattered.
Yes,
right.
It's very hard, and you know, with the flooding that happened in November, caused more blockage of our access to Lytton. We weren't able to go to Lytton as we did before. Jackass Mountain was washed out, and Nickerman Tank Hill was washed out, and many other places were flooded out. And we didn't experience, you know, the Nicola Valley, Nicola River was amazing, and what the damage the force of nature has done to that area, and they're still continuing to work on those areas. And we're fortunate to have access now to Lytton. The highways contractors and crews have been working very hard to establish a link through the canyon, because it's a major transportation corridor for the province, actually, and as well as the Coquihalla. But the Fraser Canyon is very important link for transportation of goods. It's you know, the railways goes through the canyon, hydro goes through canyon. You know, it's important link to the interior, to the lower mainland.
Right. Have you been able to get there close to have an eye on, see what's going on?
Yes, I was there. I go up there 2 or 3 times a week now, and you know, we're checking the progress of the interim housing. They're beginning to clean up the contaminated debris around in our subdivision, and it should take a few more days. But and the next step would be to start planning, or actually excavating the foundations and preparing the land for permanent housing. And the next step would be they're planning to interview each homeowner and provide some input into the design of a new home that we would like to live in. And we live in a 2-story home, like it's a fairly big building, and it has steps going up to the upper levels and to the living portion with a full basement. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that plans out. You know, we sort of have an idea of what we would like, because we're seniors, we're elders now, and it's going to be a completely different setting for us, because we want a ranch style home that is just one level, easy access.
I can relate.
you maintain.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So what about your family or your extended family? Are they in the same area where you are now, or are they?
There's only two families in the North Bend area.
Okay.
A friend of mine lives up the river, as I say, about 6 kilometers away, and he lives in a sort of a camp setting. He's got a cabin out there. Then, but they lost their home too. They lived right in the village of Lytton on IR-18, which is right adjacent to the village, and my home is situated just above Lytton, just across from the Trans-Canada Highway. And that's an area that we never thought would be impacted.
Yeah.
When I heard about the fire down in the village, we said, "Oh, the volunteer fire department will probably get it out quite easy." And not even 10 minutes later, another friend came knocking on the door and honking the horn, saying, "You better get out. The fire's coming up." And we saw the smoke coming up. The gully that our house is in line with from the village. It's a shortcut trail that we use when we walk down to the village for groceries and anytime we need baking. But we saw the smoke, and by the time I went inside to tell my partner that we should think of moving, at that time we were just thinking about going up to Botany Valley because it's a cool spot to live, or to spend the evening. It's a cool spot to have supper or picnic. And we're just we had some stuff in our car ready to go, and we had that in our plans within an hour to leave. But it's happened so fast. By the time I got into the house again to tell my partner, we should think of leaving right now, and we both went out on the back patio to look, and we saw the flame just across the highway, and the smoke was coming up. Cars were still going back and forth on the Trans-Canada Highway. It was very busy that day,
Right.
and I had to run back in to get my keys. When I realized I didn't have my keys, I ran back in. By the time I got back again, within a few minutes, the fire was right across the road, and the trees around my house were up in flames. The wind was swirling, and we could feel the heat as we're going down to our driveway down to the main exitway. And by the time I got down, we were the first ones at the Trans-Canada Highway to try and get back on to escape.
Mm-hmm.
But the cars were still going back and forth, and the eastbound lane was closed. One of the motorists stopped traffic, but the cars and trucks were still going west on the Trans-Canada. We had to turn west because the flames were on our right hand side, on the east side.
Oh my God.
There's one way to go, and we were afraid to move out because we thought we would be hit by a semi truck, or because they were just speeding, just trying to get through the flames and the smoke. And so it's a pretty scary moment. And fortunately, we had the traffic was stopped eventually, and we were able to get out. And all the residents from our subdivision were all lined up trying to get out. And we're trying to tell the people that were parked on the Trans-Canada Highway going eastbound to turn around and leave the area.
Yeah.
And which they eventually did. But it was very, with that all happened in a matter of 10 minutes, and we stopped a short distance away because we lost our little puppy, our little dog. Her name is Baby, and she's a small Shih Tzu dog, and she got scared. She took off in the opposite direction when we were fleeing.
Right.
Yeah. And we were hoping that we'd be able to go back and try and find her, but we weren't able to do that. So we decided to go down to my sister's house, which is 2 kilometers away, south of Lytton, going towards Vancouver, and we sat there in our lawn chairs, looking at the billows of smoke coming up from the village, and we had no idea what was happening. We had no idea what was happening down the village.
Yes.
We didn't realize the whole village was gone, and we just heard stories after the fact. And our sister-in-law, my sister-in-law was there. She lives in the village of Lytton,
Right.
and they were trying to escape. And fortunately, they were picked up by some friends. They're elders, and a friend stopped, and they just sort of jumped in a truck and took off out of town as fast as they could because the smoke was billowing, flames were all around, and she lived in a trailer, and that went up in a matter of seconds. She lived right by below the CP railway tracks, and so we didn't know all this was happening. We were trying to communicate with our families. Our daughter, who lives on the west side reserve called Scrappium, she noticed the smoke, and she saw our home.
Gosh,
I started to get emotional about that.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But she was so afraid, and
Yes.
for us, because we had no communication with her.
Right.
But eventually we did connect, and we established, the lines of communication. Is always a hard time to talk about those experiences.
Yes.
But it's a life that we survived, and we're not in the ideal place that we are today, but we're surviving day to day, and we keep busy, and we try to keep to ourselves as much as we can to minimize the COVID that's going around, and the Omicron that's going on. As elders, we have to be very cautious and in order to do that. But we still maintain contact with our family, and we have small group sessions, no large gatherings anymore, which we miss. And the community has really experienced a lot of loss of elders in the past few months, and it just I'm really shocked because the amount of elders that we've lost, and we can't gather as we normally do, and support each other in that manner. And everything's virtual. And I attended one virtual gathering to celebrate the life of one of my dear friends. But it's not the same, just
No, of course not.
our nature of our people is to gather and support each other during a time of loss, and we haven't been able to do that as a community. And I think that's really impacted a lot of our people. Our way of life has been gone. We never just didn't lose our home itself, but we lost more than our home. It's a way of life that we've always practiced, for generations, and all of a sudden we have restrictions and protocols we have to meet, and so it's really a challenge for everyone. And it's, our people are really suffering. They're trying to do the best they can, but it's just a matter of time now to be able to get back together and share our stories with each other. I think that's important for us to do that, so that we can all support each other. So
I agree, and as you said, this time it's just a waiting period, right? It's not like anybody can do anything, right? And
I feel for the residents of the village of Lytton because of all the bylaws that they have to follow, and in our the Lytton First Nation has done quite well in working with and reestablishing and rebuilding our own subdivisions that were lost, and I commend them for that. I was just appointed as the deputy EOC director last week to help out with developing a traditional wellness plan for our community members when they return back to Lytton. So I'll be assisting in that process over the next few weeks, and just to ensure that we have the proper support services for our members when they come back to Lytton. So, because it's going to be completely different. We still have the villager that's completely burnt down to the ground, and there's nothing there to visualize. And so we need a lot of support mentally and physically to enable our residents to, I guess, understand what we're going through, and how can we move forward in a good way.
Yes. Now, I know there was a fundraiser at some point, because I know that my friend Gerald Charlie was part of that, right?
Yes, yes. Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that's-
yeah. On my personal side, I'm a musician myself, and I have a lot of contacts with good people like Gerald Charlie and Blues Band, and in Chilliwack area and the Kamloops area, and it's just the support that they provided to me as a elder musician. I had a nice set of drums that was gifted to me just a year before that, and that burnt up,
of course.
and within a matter of a month, they came back and they gave me another gift of me another set of drums.
Oh, wonderful.
But the problem I have is I don't have a place to practice now because we're so confined in a small area. But I have it stored away, and I'm looking forward to the summer. Hopefully we can get together and have another jam session, because I did organize some jam sessions at Tuckway Village in Boston Bar for our work. They provide a lot of support to my family, and they provided a venue where musicians can come in to share their talents and raise some money for the residents of Lytton. So that's really good, and they all want to come back again when we get together, and hopefully we'll have that this summer or late summer or fall time.
Nice.
And it's really,
Sorry, yeah. If anything I can do to help, let me know. I'll be happy to help any way I can. One of the things I was thinking about, when you say people lost their homes, what we often is not talk about is everything that was in the home, right? Things that were. I mean, I understand the importance of you die in it, but the point is everything you owned, all your little pictures, memories, right?
We still experience that even today. I mean, we're little things, little gadgets that we're used to using. Is that can you get me the our favorite potato peeler? It's gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
Even though we have another one, just those things that mementos we had in our homes. We had a lot of mementos that were lost, pictures. My partner Gloria, she has a massive collection of Canucks memorabilia, souvenirs, banners, jerseys, and we were in the process of trying to renovate our home, and we wanted to have them on display, but we never got through that process, and they're all stored in boxes. And when we went back to check to see if anything survived, there were some scarred remains of jerseys that were packed in boxes, but they weren't recoverable at all. And we did retrieve a few mementos when we went into sift through the ashes, but just everything just pretty well melted together due to the heat. And I had a toolbox that had a collection of tools, and I came across that. It's sort of a perfect a round shaped metal, all melted together. And I said, this will be a good memento to hang up in our new home to remember our old home, because it's a nice little it's like a sculpture structure or picture. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So, well, just about out of time here, but Byron, thank you for sharing your story, and I hope things move a little bit faster for you and for everybody else, in your community, right?
Yes.
So that you're not displaced as long as you're, longer than you absolutely have to be. It's bad enough with losing everything, but now having to wait to go back home or to have a home to go back to must be just so. Yeah. I don't know where you have no choice. I understand, but still, it must be so hard on so many people.
Yeah, I think our traditional values have really helped our people, and we're trying to bring that back. The values of good health, happiness, generations, patience, understanding, respect. Those are the key values that we follow, and that's been handed down to us for generations. And I think that will help us build a new Lytton, a new community that we envision today. And the old Lytton will still be there, but we're all positive in trying to maintain a good outlook and our future.
That's kind of your nature, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, just stay on camera while I say goodbye to the audience. So yeah, for those of you who've been wondering, or hope you have wondering what's happening to the people in Lytton that have been in Lytton, got a great update from Byron, and I want to thank him for that. I want to thank you all for watching. And if there's something you can want to do to help, well, reach out. I'm sure somebody will let you know what they need if they need something. And thanks again for watching, and peace out, everyone.
Thank you.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.